Alrighty folks, welcome to day 17. Old Sampey built a micro house. Today we're drinking vodka with soda and ice. It's a bit plain, but it's actually quite good. I am feeling super good. I have not got my solar panels on yet, but we do have this. So we've moved to our new site. I'll go around the back here. Here's the old site all raked out. And this is where we are now. So we've shifted it under the trees, whatnot. Sitting up on some tiles. Cool thing with this spot is, as you can see under there and under here, towards the back of the structure, we've got a really huge gap now, which is great. It's going to allow us to drain out more. I can get a rake in under there and actually shape the ground more for just flow out to here. My bro whose land I'm using even sort of said, we'll maybe put a veggie garden in the back here now. Nice sunny area, why not? Cheers. And I've got heaps of space to work out here now, because we now are, I needed to be 2.4 meters from that edge and this wall away from the respective fence lines. I'm now over 2.5 meters from both. Lot of space to walk around, hang out. So I might mural my back wall. Just because it's a huge black space, and why the hell not? It'd be kind of fun. Somebody obviously complained to the council, which led to them turning up, which was a really cool, positive experience. But there is still that somebody hung over the fence and had an issue thing going on. So there has been talk of drawing a flying penis, or me pulling the fingers on the back of here. But I think I'll probably do something more artistic in my kind of buzz. So we were going to put the little cool crucifix thing I've got coming yet right on this wall now, which is, as you can see, behind a bunch of bush and whatnot, so we won't do it there. Maybe do it on this wall, or maybe put it on that back wall or the end wall or something. I'd like it somewhere displayed. I may even do it inside. Anyway, here's that doormat. Let's go check out inside. Oh, actually, before we do that, so we did talk about how my dad had said to me that doing an exterior door lock wasn't a good plan, and there are some good reasons for that. However, I've done one anyway. Haven't painted this section yet, because that allows me to show you what we're doing a little easier, and just hadn't got to that yet because drinking's more fun. So what we've got here is the same sort of door lock that we've got on the inside of the door. This one is a little higher. Push on there, locks out like so, or like so, and the door opens just fine. There is basically no way this can accidentally lock. It's actually a bit of a fiddle to get it locked. You have to shove the door forward and then push that. So there's no way this can accidentally lock. It's on a slight slope, so even if this lock gets nice and loose and stuff, it will tend to lock itself open in either the up or down latched position. So I'm not worried there, but the way I've built this little bit on the front, it's the other reason we didn't paint it yet, so you can see what we're doing. This is just weak ass 9mm ply, and there's the door opening there. So basically, if I do somehow get locked in, something goes wrong or whatever, and I really need to get out in a hurry, I need to plant an ear or a boot directly behind that, and this will just shatter and rip right out. And actually the screws that hold that wee lock in probably wouldn't withstand too much of that either. And I could do that, I'm pretty sure, obviously we haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure I could do that without breaking the glass. Go for your good old sort of accuracy, martial artsy punch there, or knee or kick. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy we can do that. And this allows me to, if I just lock it again, I do this one-handed, so I use my knee, that now pushes this metal strip right up against the door, which helps seal it up and stuff, which is great. I may have mentioned in the last video, and I certainly have to a few friends, we had a few leak issues, so we had to do some resealing on this bottom window edge, but I'm pretty sure that's okay now. It was a very minor leak, but we had a huge rainstorm here, and this whole section under here got really flooded out, and we finally realized what was happening. Water was coming in under the door off the sill, flooding in and pooling. So what I've done is I've screwed in a section of ply that runs right from the door frame out into that corner over there, cut the carpet to refit that, and then that has been fully sealed at all edges with sealant and stuff. We did some more sealant in the door, and then tar painted the snot out of everything, which is why we've now got a black edge on the bottom edge of the thing there. So you probably can't actually see the carpet to wall blend. I can barely see it here because everything's black, but yeah, So we've got a wee strip that goes around, and you can just see on the other side of that bin it stops on the side of the bookcase. Carpet was already in last time I talked to you, but we've now completed our internal painting. I'll just take my shoes off. So I'm going inside. These are such weird things. They have a doormat and crap. Have I got them plugged in at the moment? I'll just plug in the light so we can get some extra light going on here. Give me a minute. Ding, ding, ding. That one. And that one. And boom. Boom. Cool. A little bit extra light. So we've got our interior painting done. It's not as bright white as it was because I got that paint I got donated. But it was good thick undercoaty type stuff, so did a couple of coats of that, and that made everything smooth out quite nicely, and it's still sort of a white interior kind of thing, which is what I was after. So I'm just ducking under here. Here's my bros leveler borrowed. Cheers, mate. This structure on the new foundations, such as they are with the piled up tiles and bits of dirt and stuff, is actually more level than the original one was, which is great. This chunk of shit sitting on the floor here is off some sort of old medical appliance or whatever. It was just some junk out the front that the cats here are going to throw out in this metal case that some guy left behind. And they were like, do you want any of that? Righty-row. We opened up the case, and this was in there. As you can see, it's got articulated joints both ends, and it's got a telescoping thing and stuff. So I'm going to use this to mount my solar panels, and instead of mounting them on the house, I might well actually mount them on a mast on the ground on that big area out behind us now. Also, thanks to a wee donation from my mum, I've now got a small pot, a small pan, a matching bowl, mug and plate set, and I've got a knife and a fork, fork and a spoon I nicked off the guys here, and I've got my knife that I've always had for ages, which I like eating steak with. Today, to celebrate, I bought a steak, and I'm going to do my first cook ever here tonight. But after advice from friends and my dad and a few other people, I've decided that this fan isn't sufficient for ventilation. It probably is, but it probably isn't good enough when you're dealing with carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide and other sorts of gases and stuff like that in a confined space. Also, the heat generated by cooking would delaminate paint to that area, put grease everywhere, add damp issues, and blah blah blah. There's just so many reasons why putting a micro kitchenette in there is a dumb idea. However, I've got a little micro camp stove sort of system that I will still store on these shelves, along with the cutlery and pots and pans and things. But I can just stick it out there on the doormat, outside actually, or just in here if it's raining, and just cook in the door. So I don't really need a kitchenette if I'm just using a gas cooker and a pot and a pan. So we're going to do that. Therefore, we don't need a vent there. We're going to take the vent out of there, and I'm going to shove it in under here, where the intake vents for my ventilation system are. So I will now have a fan pumping air in and a fan up there pumping air out, once we've got it all wired up properly and stuff. And I'm going to take my clothes stuff from there, and I'm going to put it up here on a wee shelf where all our batteries and bits of wiring and crap for our power system are now, and I'm going to take all of them and put them in here. Once that fan's out, that leaves a hole in the wall that's still ventilated nicely and shit, so it's a passive vent, and also really convenient space to run cables from my solar panels to my batteries and vice versa, and all kinds of things like that. So all of my main wiring will now come out of that area, flowing along this roof towards where the lights actually are. I think after some experiments and thinking around, I'm going to put one up here in the ceiling somewhere as well, just as a general light, and for at night and shit, that I can still reach and turn off without having to get out of bed. Just to sort of light up this rear corner. Obviously now that I'm not looking at any time soon putting a shower and toilet into this area, I'll be using it as a sort of a painting work area and storage area and shit, so having a bit of light in there is not a bad plan. And out of the 4 lights I've got, that will still leave me 2, one left, so I'll just keep that as a spare for now. Maybe I'll make an exterior light or something with it, I don't know, I don't really have a use for it, so I'm just going to leave it in the box and have a spare. So what does that cover? Solar panel possible mount, gear being moved around and whatnot. We'll show you how that all looks in the following video. Just have some more vodka. It's really good. I like vodka. So yeah, we've lived in here for sort of a week or so now. It's pretty cool. I like working in my wee spot here. Here's my view now that we've moved. That was the thing I'm saving to the last end of the video. Big props to Southern Reckoning crew, wrestling team, Chalky and the boys there. Not sure if actually that's the stage name to use for that, so I probably shouldn't have let that one away, but Two of them are existing tattoo clients of mine and friends of mine from back in the day when I used to live in Christchurch and be a normal person who wasn't homeless, and subsequently working through this project and stuff a long time ago. So got to see them today for the first time in sort of 4 years or so, which is really cool. They all came over, them and their two teammates, who I'm not going to name because I'm not sure if I'm using the correct names. I know them as people outside of the wrestling sort of environment there, so I'm not sure what names they prefer to use. I should have checked, but I will be including a link to their Facebook page on the Facebook post of this video. By all means, check them out. It's some pretty entertaining stuff. But being wrestlers and big dudes, like wrestlers are, they were definitely the appropriate work crew to get this thing moved. So I called them up. We're doing some upcoming tattoo work. So I just knocked a bit off the price of each of their tattoos and said, hey, look, come over. Give me a hand lifting this thing because it's a 5-6 minute job, which it was. Get big dudes when you need things lifted. As opposed to several hours of me and my bro Rob dicking around trying to slide this thing about and do all kind of thing, take it up, half a foot higher up onto this little slight incline that it's now sitting on, and it would have been an absolute clusterfuck. We would have got it done, but my bro's got a job to do. I've got stuff I want to do, and this was just a much quicker and cooler way to do it. So what I did was I borrowed a couple of my mates' tie-down strops, and I fed them under the house using a little bit of metal, and just created strop loops that ran under either end of the house. Boys came over, grabbed a strop each, basically either corner, and we shimmied it along. Then we shimmied it up the hill. We did a couple of stands and moved around, dickety-dick, and we got it done in like 4 or 5 minutes. Because big dudes for the win. So yeah, check out Southern Wrecking Crew. I did tell them I'd give them a wee prop on the video. So there's your prop, guys. And thanks, really heaps for your help. And now I'm at the point where I get to say I've basically all but got myself a house. Well, I got myself a house. I just haven't done the solar panels. I'll do them tomorrow. I really do want to just do a big shout out, not just to Southern Wrecking Crew, but to my patron, to the people who are letting me use the back of their rental property here, to all my friends who've given advice and family who've given advice or money or help in various ways, and support. This has been a really, really cool project with minimal issues, really. I mean, we had our leak problems there, which have now added an interesting patina to the inside of our cedar wood, which I'm just going to leave there. But that was the only thing that went wrong. Everything else went ahead of schedule and under budget, which is just insane on a build. So I'm really, really happy. I'm stoked, as I really like living in here. It's cool. It's not too warm or too cold. We've had some, actually, I've been able to do a good test because it's the middle of summer and we thought we were just dealing with heat. But we've had some pretty epic fucking storms over the last few days. Which gave us our leak issues again. So once I'd done the initial leak repairs, I then got a chance to test them in even worse weather. All the stuff I'd repaired worked reasonably well, apart from that one wee corner there at the bottom by my vodka, which I've now repaired again just to make sure that doesn't leak again. And then we just had that problem with the stuff coming under the door, which is now taken care of. And the carpets obviously got a bit wet when that happened. They're easy to dry out. The rubber backing really works. The short shag is great. So, yep, that's all G and awesome as well. So, yeah, thanks everyone for turning my little house into a reality. This is, I'm like so fucking stoked. So here's my view now. It's changed a little bit. Basically, anywhere I look is little bits of bush and interesting yard and stuff like that. I'll just duck that down so you can't see the house. And yeah, oh fuck, putting shoes on, I'll just go walking the thing. I'm on leaves and stuff now. Oh, okay, we need to level our doormat a bit more. There's a bit of flexibility in there. Never mind, I'll get some of my offcuts of wood and do that. But yeah, got a nice little walk through from the yard. And here's what we look like now with our door open. So we're just nestled in under the bushes there. So that's all my updates to go. The video after this, sometime in the next day or two, will be the last video for this project, or this stage of it. And that'll just be showing you what we've done with solar panels, and I imagine by then we will have painted the front of the door lock and done a couple of other things. But like I said, we've been living in here for a while. It works really, really well. I've tested the ventilation systems. Instead of using gas, which would be a bit dangerous, I locked everything up and smoked a couple of TaylorMades in here with that vent on. And that was when I decided that cooking inside was really not necessary. A and B could be a little risky. The vents do work. They're great for temperature and stuff, but they take a few minutes to work at a time, and stuff like that. So you smoke a TaylorMade in here, you got to leave a fan on while you're doing it, and then, you know, preferably blow smoke at the fan, and leave it on for a couple of minutes afterwards. But otherwise, there's no smell issues or anything. And TaylorMade's are fucking noxious as hell, so that's a pretty good test of how your vents work. And you can, obviously, you've got visible smoke, so you can see it moving and see how fast it moves from one end of the structure to the other, and all kinds of stuff like that. It's quite helpful. That's me rationalizing my smoking habit. No, I did it for science, really. Vodka is good. So yeah, all's going well. We've started doing artwork and stuff again. Sitting over here, we've got there's this wee test print or test drawing of the. I must have it the wrong way around. There we go. The tattoo I'm going to be doing on the Southern Wrecking Crew guys. It's their work logo thing for their professional wrestling outfit. Which I don't really get into stuff like that much, but honestly, I've watched a few of their videos. It's actually really quite entertaining. So yeah, pretty cool guys and stuff, and they're really cool to hang out with and work on and whatnot. So that's cool. And yeah, we've got a bit of food and stuff stacked up here. I went out and bought some additional protein and stuff today, thanks to my patron for sending me a bit of extra cash there to get some food. As usual, I bought some cigarettes as well, but we did get some decent food. Let's focus on the food. So got some proteins and vitamins E type things in there and stuff, which is great. I should imagine I'll be starting up doing I now have a regular job. It's just one of these things, after you've done all the scary, weird things I've done in life, and you're still looking for something scary and weird to do that you can afford, it turns out trying to do a normal job like a normal person is the next best thing up the chain after suspension and throwing yourselves off high things and doing all the nuts crap I've done in my life. So I've gotten a job working as a dishy out back of the bar. Thank you to my mother for training me to do dishes well and be good at domestics and stuff. I'm good at dobby work, so I'm working out back of the bar. But working front of house scares the shit out of me. It's just one of those things that, due to my mental health issues and stuff, really just blows my mind and freaks me out for no reason at all. I've tried it a couple of times and just like literally lost my shit. Like somebody ordered my beer and I just flop, sweat, panic attack and stuff, and struggled to even pour this poor guy a beer, you know, which is ridiculous. This was years ago, but you know, it's stuck in my memory as a scary experience, you know, like putting meat hooks through my chest and hanging out of a tree, not scary. Serving someone a beer at a bar, shit my pants. That's mental health for you. So I've decided I'm going to try and do that. These guys are very, very slowly and gradually at my own pace training me up to do things like operate the wee tills and pour certain kinds of drinks and do sorts of bits and pieces. And in between I have work, being the dishy out the back, which is a job I really like doing. I can be front or back of house when it suits me, basically interact with people when and how it suits me, and the rest of the time I just do monkey work. I operate a sterilizer, I clean things, I do stuff like that, and this is stuff I actually quite enjoy doing, because so much of what else I do is either really, really physical or really, really mental, or both at the same time. Like, you know, it requires my brain, I mean mental. And doing monkey work like that is, you know, most people would call it boring. I see it as a holiday, and I get paid for it, or I can drink. One of the two, or both sometimes. So it's really, really cool. So thanks to the cats. I won't name the bar after I said that terribly unprofessional thing. But thanks to the cats who've employed me as well. That's really, really awesome. So what that means is I'm now not so reliant on commission artwork in order to make a crust. Not that I have to make much of a crust now, because I have free power, free rent, free everything. Pretty much. I just have to feed myself. But that means I can now focus on more of doing my own artwork as opposed to being completely reliant on commissions. And I guess that's what this project has really been about, is showing how using various techniques of being, you know, personable and nice to people and trying new things, even though it's scary and difficult and weird, will get people eventually. If you're polite and you're nice, and you try to be a good person and you do things the right way and stuff, you do end up getting people who will help you out and give you free stuff or pay for you to build a micro house, and things like that. And once you've done that, if you work hard and shit, you end up with what I've got, which is the dream deal, basically. I have very few commitments or responsibilities. I have basically no bills, and I've got somewhere really nice to live. Like, look at my nice bushes and stuff outside. It's lovely. That's portable, that I can move as is needed, and things. I think in stage 2, one of the things we might look at doing as well as adding a roof vent system and shit, is building wheels into the lower structure so that I can wipe out a bit of that hedge and then basically roll on out of here through to the front area of the house and then roll onto a trailer for transport. Because now that I've done all of this, to be honest, the last thing I really want to have to do is disassemble it all, even down to modules. It would just feel too much like kicking myself in the nuts, you know. But it is possible. If I need to get out of here really quickly, you know, like let's say the owner turns up tomorrow and decides that, I don't know, the land agents who deal with this place hadn't informed him or her enough about what I was up to or whatever. As far as I understand, they're all G with it, but I've never met any of these people. Just sweep my floor a little bit here. So, yeah, let's say that happened. I could strip this, get all my gear into backpacks again and strip all this down in less than a day. Get a mate with a trailer, pack it all on a trailer and take it somewhere. So yeah, longer term I will be looking for a permanent site, like someone who owns the land and is happy for me to be around for like years or more, at which point I'll be able to start really playing around with some more industrial scale kind of heavy duty wraps and stuff for the whole house. Like at the moment, the way it's set up is so it can be disassembled with minimal destruction to, you know, paint, finish and things like that. But ideally I'd like to wrap the entire structure in like fiberglass or something like that to actually make a totally weatherproof shell. I'd like to have it up on stilts so it's flood proof. I'd like to build a deck, and I may want to extend and add an extra little room onto it, or have some outdoor fucking, you know, dining area type shit going out front side of this door at some point and shit like that. So yeah, there's a few different things I could do, but I'm just over the moon with what I have so far. This is such a cool space to be in. It works really, really well. It's all my arty stuff and, you know, things. I have this nice wee view. It's nice and warm, although it is summer and stuff. Obviously, we'll be looking at in winter. Now I'm going to be pumping air in this way and then extracting it out over there. I will build a little micro alcohol powered heater thing. Like a really, really micro thing. So we're talking about like the size of a little bean can kind of doofo with a lot of metal around the outside of it and stuff that will heat up with the fire kind of thing. And I'm going to set it up so that fan that's going to be there is going to suck cold air in and then blow it past a series of vanes that slow it down, pressurize it somewhat while heating it the fuck up around this little hot fire thing, and then blowing hot air in here from under the desk conveniently. And then obviously that will rise into the environment nicely and shit, and then extract out here. So I'll be running it on alcohol. Fumes shouldn't really be an issue. It's not like running butane gas or anything like that. And there's plenty of space in this lower shelf to create a fully enclosed little brick type thing so that it's totally fireproof and blah de blah de blah. So safety's covered. And I'll have a little thermal heater instead of, that's the plan anyway, instead of using insulation. Insulation, sure, me being in here could make it more comfortable and stuff like that, but Christ, I've just painted the place and all that kind of, then I'd be covering all the internal walls in like, you know, 50mm thick insulation, which I have a free supply of thanks to another friend. But for now I'm going to go without. Certainly in summer it should be fine. I think our biggest problem in here is going to be getting too warm. But now we're under the shady trees and I've got vents and stuff, so it hasn't been a problem so far. But I'll go to insulation as a last resort if I'm in a more extreme environment. If we're out on farmland here in New Zealand in winter, it does get really cold and it snows and stuff like that. So yeah, in that case I might wrap the outside in polystyrene before fiberglassing it or something like that. But all of these sorts of things require me to have a permanent structure that isn't going to move anytime soon, that is able to be put in one unit on a trailer and gotten out of the area, which here would be a little technical, if not impossible, but we'll see about that. So yeah, what I'm going to focus on for winter, hopefully we'll get to do a winter here on this site, will be heating down there where we've got paint cans and stuff at the moment. That's just a utility area that'll get cleared out. Yeah, I'll do that. And the cool thing with doing a little heater thing like that then as well is I can start looking at using Peltier generators. Look it up, it's Peltier, I believe, Peltier generator. NASA uses these on spaceships. And they use plutonium, chunks of plutonium to heat them up. But basically with the Peltier generator, you can put power into it, and it will give you a cooling thing. They're used in micro fridges and electronics cooling applications and stuff. However, you can take power out of them by heating one side and keeping the other side cooler. And the larger the differential between the hot side and the cold side, the better your voltage and efficiency and stuff like that goes. So if you put a Peltier generator on the outside of some very warm bricks that are being warmed by an alcohol stove with air blowing past the cold side of the Peltier generator with like a little aluminium heat sink on it and shit, it will generate a whole bunch of voltage. And it's only like 50 bucks New Zealand roughly to buy one that produces 5 volt USB at 1 amp. With about 80 degrees on the hot side and keep the cold side as cold as you can kind of thing. So I might look into putting one of them in just to amp up my power stuff. I might look at building a little windmill system on the roof, like a whole bunch of stuff like that. But what we've figured out so far, just using the batteries, I've had to recharge them twice now. One of them twice. I've been cycling them through. If you're up a lot at night, you're running lights all the time, charging your phone, doing all that kind of stuff, these batteries do start, like if I'm running 2 lights and charging a high-powered phone or other USB device, they start giving me blinky lights and shutting down and stuff. They go into overload. But I've been deliberately only using one battery at a time. I bought 2 for a reason. It allows me to use one for charging USB stuff and one to run the lights. But yeah, based on the amount of sun I'm getting and stuff like this, I don't think I'll ever run out of power really, although I do have lots of little micro devices like this that are always kept fully charged, so that if I do run out of power, I've got portable lights and a bunch of other gear, so you know, nothing really major happens. But yeah, things are looking really, really cool. I'm totally stoked. There's so much cool stuff I can do here, but we're basically calling stage 1 done. Just gonna throw those, put this together and make some stuff tomorrow, put my solar panels in, get them plugged in, and then we're done. And we've played around with the kitchenette idea, as I said before. We're not going to do that as it is, as it was designed or stuff. We're just going to have some more storage area there. Good idea to have some vents around your batteries and stuff, by the way, if you are using batteries. I've got a really cool setup that's all like pre-made and prefabricated, and I'm sure it has all sorts of safety protection in it, but it is possible for sealed lead acid or SLA batteries, which is what I'm using, to vent out and have over temp issues and do things like that, which causes them to vent gas you don't want to be near. So having them right by a vent is a good idea. I may even close that whole area off with a wee panel, just to ensure that it's totally separated and whatnot. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Like I said, really stoked. I'm going to drink some more vodka, smoke a couple of cigarettes, and then do some reorganizing about where everything goes, and then bust out my camp cooker and cook a steak, just to sort of see how long it takes to do some cooking. With the gear I've got and whatnot. Currently I use the house up front of where I am at the moment for cooking and toileting and showering and so forth, but soon enough, well, currently I don't really have to do that. I could live somewhere else and stuff, and the idea is eventually to have this unit as being a fully self-contained thing. So we've got cooking apparatus, we just use them in the doorway or outside. And equally, I could bolt a solar-powered shower with the option of using that to gas heat it outside as well. And then toileting would also be done outside. I'm quite happy to build a wee shack thing with a long drop, or with a chemical toilet, or with a composting toilet, or yeah, there's a million and one things I could do. And we'll just see how things develop and whatnot. I'm going to spend the next few weeks just getting used to my cool new life and my cool new house, and doing my regular jobs, doing art and working in a bar. And then we might do a new series. Sampey upgrades his micro house or something like that when I start playing around with stage 2 concepts. Vodka is good. Alrighty, I'm going to drink more vodka. You guys have a good one. Once again, I'll sign off by saying thank you very, 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 all to the moon and back, so much to all the people who've helped. Physically, monetarily, psychologically, with ideas, all of the ways. You're all amazing, cool people. I hope that this has been entertaining enough for those of you who have been watching, and educational to a degree, or whatever. I really want to say that thanks so much to those people, but like, well, not but and anyone can do this, you know. It's not so hard to cut down on all the things you own in life and stuff. And if most of you, people watching this kind of thing, ditched the few of the devices most of you own, the big computer or the car or the the LCD screen or all the other things you can't really fit in a space like this. If you ditch those devices, that will get you enough money to build something like this, and then you just need somewhere to put it. And that's not a hard thing to do. Obviously, at a size like this, it's very easy to go on a 2-wheel trailer. You could fit 2 of these on the back of a flatbed truck. You know, your options are endless. This is an entirely floatable structure as well. I'd say, based on the Southern Wrecking Crew lifting this today, thanks again, guys, that it's probably more in the 400 kg range. But that's with all my gear in it and stuff as well. So yeah, this is not a hard to do thing. I've created a house. I'm just an artist. I've got some basic tool usage skills, but I'm not very good at it. We used a lot of bog to fix my mess. And it's standing, it's cool, it's level, it's livable. It's really cool to be in here and hang out and work and sleep and, you know, do all the other things. And I don't have to live on the street anymore or live in people's lounges. I got my own wee place. So fucking stoked. So yeah, thanks everyone who helped make this happen. I'm really just over the moon. Good shit. See you later.